Hello everyone, my name is Belén. I am an Ecuadorian who studied and now currently lives and works in Germany, and I'm here to share my journey. When I imagine studying in Germany, I picture intense classes, deep discussions, tons of assignments, and a lot of structure. Well, reality had a surprise for me. In today's video, I'm sharing all the things that surprised me the most about university life in Germany, from course types to making friends, and how you can actually enjoy and live your free time when you are not at university. So let's start with classes. Back at home, I remember that everything was very guided sometimes, and there were always clear schedules, mandatory assignments, and lots of structure simply. But in Germany, it is more like, here's what you need to do, here are your options, and good luck. Instead of a set schedule handed to you, you decide what courses you want to take, as long as you meet the prerequisites, of course. In theory, we can call this freedom, but in reality, it can be a little bit chaotic and confusing. I remember that when I was looking at my course catalog, I was like, oh my God, what should I even pick? Thankfully, I had a friend who studied at my same university before, and he was very kind to guide me through this process. Hopefully, you find someone like that too, or you can always answer to your questions if you go to your faculty's administration or you ask professors. Honestly, I could have just started there. And even they will admit that the system is a little bit confusing sometimes. And not only for people who come from universities from South America or specifically from Ecuador, but also for people who are coming from other continents like Asia or Africa or the US as well. People find the system very confusing, so you are not alone in this case. I have talked to my classmates and we share the same feeling. What matters is that you really try to understand how the credits and course types work at your university, because you do not want to end up taking an extra semester at the end of your program when you are supposed to graduate. Now let's break down the two big types of university courses that you can find in Germany. The first type is a Vorlesung or lecture type. This is usually a big class with hundreds of students, and the task of the professor is to simply talk and the student listens. That's it. There is little to no interaction at all, and attendance is not mandatory. You are expected to show up sometimes, or if you want to, yeah, of course, you can show up and take notes and leave. That's it. The second type is a pro-seminar or seminar. The groups of students are usually smaller, from 10 to 30 students, and in this type of courses you must participate, and very actively, because there is a lot of space for discussions, for engagement as well. You will have some presentations and papers, and attendance in this type of courses is mandatory because it counts towards your final grade. Now that you know the course types that you can find in Germany, at the moment of choosing your classes or registering for your courses in every semester or at the beginning of the semester, try to balance your schedule a little bit, because if you have too many pro seminars, you will have to end up writing 5 term papers at the end of the semester, and that can be quite stressing. Also, if you register for so many lectures, then you will end up having a lot of exams and you will have to study a lot. Be aware that for pro seminars especially, spots are very limited. So sometimes even if you want to be part of a pro seminar, you won't be able to, because just so many students want to be in that one and there won't be a place for you. Here, another tip: try to register on time for every class. Be aware of the registration dates so you don't miss on any course. In a Vorlesung or lecture, you will have a final test or Klausur test. And because there is a very big group of students, professors usually opt to develop tests that have multiple choice questions or require very short answers. Or sometimes this never happened to me, but I have heard when people have to do oral exams. There will also be some reading assignments during the semester because the professor wants you to come prepare for the class, so they will tell you what you have to read or what the next class is going to be about. Now, in pro-seminars or seminars, it is a little bit different. Here, you're expected sometimes, it really depends on the professor's preferences, but I experience a professor who would like to do a lot of presentations. They usually last from 20 to 30 minutes. Another type of assignment that you can get during these courses is a term paper or Hausarbeit. It ranges a lot between 3,000 words to 5,000 or 8 to 12 pages. And don't be afraid of it. Probably you never wrote a paper before, but university here will prepare you for that. In my experience and from other friends, I have heard that in the first semester it will be mandatory for you to take a academic writing course where you will be able to learn all these rules and how university likes you to write and what kind of citation style you have to use and so on and so on, which is very, very helpful. And if you have this course, it will be very nice that you really pay attention because you will need all of this information for the rest of your career. Your participation will be graded as well, and professors will make that very clear on your grade. Depending on the professor, in pro-seminars, you might have some small written tasks. Perhaps the professor wants you to read a paper and write a summary about it or answer to some questions that he might have prepared in advance. And these might not be graded, but it also adds up to your participation. And at the end, you will be able to write that term paper or do that presentation with more information because you were really paying attention to that class. And I find this type of classes very interactive. I personally like them more because you are able to talk more with the professor and discuss the topics more deeply, and also you are more taking into account rather than in a big class where probably the professor doesn't even know your name. Now let's talk about the humans behind PowerPoint presentations. Professors in Germany are very well prepared, super knowledgeable, and very formal, but do not expect them to know your name if you are in a 200-person lecture. But if you are in a pro-seminar, they will probably know you very fast. They are also very big on punctuality and structure, very on brand for Germany. If you need help with something, do not hesitate. You can find their office hours directly on the university page, or you can ask them directly. If you are going to one of their office hours, remember they have a limited time. They might give you 15 minutes, half an hour, maybe an hour. Just make sure to use the time wisely because they have a lot of things to do and they really appreciate when you come prepared with your questions, with a specific topic you want to talk about. Keep in mind that not all professors are German. There are many international professors as well, and this is really nice because you will be able to learn about different perspectives and styles, and this really adds up to your education. Well, German university schedules are surprisingly very chill, in my opinion, especially when I compare it to what I used to have back home. I remember I had an 8-hour day with commutes, internships, homework. It was a lot. Honestly, I don't even know how I managed to do that. But in Germany, my jaw really dropped. For master's students, I always heard that the experience is a little bit less class, less interaction with the professor, is more about self-studying, I would say. In most classes meet once a week for 90 minutes and that's it. But you are expected to do a lot of work at the library, to read for yourself, research for yourself, and those are things that really depends on how fast you can do those things. Just a heads up here, when in your schedule shows that you will have a class from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., it actually starts at 8:15 and it ends at 9:45, which is crazy because I never had that before. Professors and students need this 15-minute buffer to move from rooms and also to maybe have a coffee break. Because after a long day, we need coffee breaks, and it's very nice that here the German system thinks about that, giving breaks for the students to relax and prepare for the next class. But what do I mean with chill? So just let me give you a personal example. I usually had 4 classes per semester, 4 courses, and I went to the campus 3 to 4 days a week. Sometimes after 2 p.m., I was already free and I could either go to the library and study more or do some research, or as well just enjoy the rest of the afternoon. But I also think they are chill because they really give me the time to find a part-time job, to travel, to go on events, or just catch up with my readings, and with zero guilt because I have a lot of time and don't have to worry about not sleeping or just drinking a lot of coffee to keep myself awake. But here is the catch. Maybe you do not get a lot of homework every week, but your final grade or your overall grade of this class or course depends on one assignment. So you really have to do that one assignment, that one presentation, that one paper. You have to do that very, very well if you want to succeed, pass the course, and maybe you don't care about having a good grade by just passing the course. But even then, you have to really prepare for it and make a good job on that. So do not get comfy, do not get confident, and keep studying during the semester. Enjoy this free time as well, but also use it for studying and preparing yourself for having a good grade and just being successful during your university life. You don't want to be stressed out. It is not like in the movies. You are not going to arrive to a new university, wear your university jersey, which are very expensive, by the way, and sit on the grass with your group of international friends and have a picnic. Well, it's not like that. Making friends, especially German friends, takes a lot of time. Germans are, but don't take me wrong here. Germans are very polite and helpful, but also very reserved, and it takes months until you are able to enter their inner circle. Along the way, you will still find friends from other backgrounds who are also international like you, and you really click with them because you are going through the same struggles or you are having a very similar situation. And honestly, it is cool because then you learn about new cultures, and also you have a sofa to crash on when you travel to their countries. Now, probably you're wondering, where do I meet people? You come here and you're all alone, you don't have any friends, any acquaintances, people do not really talk here, and you're just very lonely. Where you can start is at university, of course. You will have the chance to talk to other classmates, go to them, start a conversation, say hi. But this can be a little bit tricky because when you are too open towards some people, they might not take that very well. Just be very careful with this. There are also orientation events that are organized by your university. Make sure to follow their uni webpage or their Instagram accounts so you don't miss on any of these events. And here you will have the opportunity to meet a great variety of students, probably students that came here only for one semester or 1 year, such as Erasmus students, or other students that moved to Germany indefinitely. And do not forget that there are also uni clubs or groups for different things such as sports or hobbies. University life in Germany was not as I expected, but it was even better than I thought. It is flexible, independent, there is a space to grow both professionally and academically. Let me know if you have any questions regarding your registration process, or what fears do you have, or if you already went through some kind of struggle like this. It would be nice that you share those in the comments. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and give your support so I can keep having the motivation to do more videos like this. That was all. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video.